get started at 3:44, but I realize I have calls, so I really do have to. 3:44 is not going to work. Okay, so here's the thing. I am using a different mic. Someone took pity on me, and I think this one might work. So thank you for sending this over. But I need to know if anyone can hear me. Or do I sound far away? I also need to fix this. We've got like a whole new setup today, guys, so give me a second. I think this. Hey, Shelly, does it sound weird? The last time I had a mic like this, people said it sounded messed up or something, but I can't exactly remember why. And I can't tell what is. I'm so sorry, guys. This is my first time doing this setup, so. Hello? It looks even worse. I think it's this angle, guys. What if I do this? Close your eyes if you get motion sick, because I don't want to make you feel all inside, but. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't let us oh, I miss you too, Shelly. I'm serious. So you don't know this, but I was going to call you. I painted something. My first painting. It wasn't my first painting. I've painted a painting before, but I'm not a painter. And it was actually two paintings that I painted. I keep saying paint. And the reason I painted two was because the first one came out like literally nothing like it was supposed to. So then I tried to repaint it and it looked even less like it was supposed to. So, see, now that's going to be. Okay. Is this lighting good? Is this okay? Hopefully that's not too dark. So, anyways, Shelly, I painted. I can tell you guys this little secret. I saw this picture of my sister, and because sometimes I have little sisters who are artists, and sometimes, even though I don't talk to my family anymore, I just can't help but show people, oh, look at my sister. I don't know why. So I always end up going to their Instagram a couple times a year to show people their art. And I saw this picture of my sister. I started staring at it. And guys, when I tell you I had a bunch of weird supernatural stuff happen after that, I'll probably make a video about it or something. But anyways, so Shelly, the irony is that I was almost about to call you because I was like, I don't know the first thing about painting. I just don't know if this is gonna be enough room. You know what I'm saying? Is this enough room, Grace? You gonna need more room. Ay. All right, I'm so sorry. I know people are like, get to the reading right now, or else I'm leaving. But you know what? If you're in that kind of an impatient space right now, maybe do find a reading that's a little bit more oof, oof, oof. I think this is a really important message, and I don't want you to receive it when you're not ready for it, So, my dear reminder, since I had it out again, there is a digital version of this, and if you're a Kindle member, you can get it for free. So, it's like having me at your fingertips, way better than a reading because there's 2,000 free readings, 2,000 members only readings. How do you find the right one? This actually has a table of contents where you can find exactly what you're looking for. So instead of scouring the internet and hoping something good comes up, you can get me. All right. Also, welcome to all of you who are here from Mr. Lightworks Readings. This is actually my ministry and my channel. And my partner, Mr. Lightwork, he posts videos on this channel a couple times a week. And he also has his own other love letter channels. So if you're like, who's this? I'm going to unsubscribe. No, this is Mr. Lightworks space. You found the right place. But just so you know, he does have a divine feminine who does readings. And that's where you're seeing that on the same place. You're not getting tricked into subscribing to different channels or something like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's take a breath, everybody. All right. This is a mix of two decks. This is the Astro Tarot Symbolism deck as well as the Spiritual Synchronicities deck. And I have combined about half of the cards from each to create a deck of my own that I really, really like. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see what comes through. All right. Swords and the elements. And I think what this says is at this time, the divine masculine is experiencing some conflict and some pain and issues in every area, every aspect of their life. So this confirms the feeling that I had. You see this sun back here? So earlier, I was led to go look at the forecast for 2025 to see what does this season hold for divine masculine. And I got so much confirmation, so many explanations just from a quick cursory glance. And then I was told divine masculines are getting sunned. And in my culture, that's not a good thing. Okay. And so I was like, how do I know that that's actually not just like in my head or, like I'm not just thinking it. And then it was like, you'll get confirmation. And then when I split the decks and put it down, it said sun. And I'm like, okay. So let's just say they've been getting humbled, and it started in September, probably after Lionsgate energy started to subside. I think the retrograde, I think there's some things that are throwing things off this year. And that's where it's been very confusing to read the energy if you're just checking the astrology or just watching general readings. So keep this in mind. There is more going on than meets the eye. And now this is, to me, a culminating moment for the divine masculines where it's all unavoidable because it's everywhere. Oh, and now, wow. Okay, and now we have wands. They're being inspired to action by something. Hmm. This is the sun card. This is the sun. So we saw sun, and now we're also seeing the sun. I'm telling you, I feel something. But okay, pause, Grace. Hold on. There's something important here. If you remember, the sun card typically has the little boy with what? The wand in his hand with a blanket attached, like a turns into a flag, right? This is no joke and no accident. Divine masculine, they're being reminded of the past. And it is, I think, something that's going to continue through the rest of the year. I think it's bearing down on them. I'm going to tell you right now, many of you are going to be reached out to in November by divine masculines who are a little bit more connected, telling you that they've been dreaming about you. Not just one dream, not just two dreams, but a lot. Why? Because divine will be speaking to them in their dreams about all this chaos, all the things that need to change in their life. And so of course, you're going to come up in it. But what's interesting to me is that it's going to be connected to this karmic interference. Again, it's not always a person. I know a lot of people have third party karmic interference. Sometimes it's a place, it's a thing, it's a job, it's a car. Okay, so somehow there's this culmination that's happening right now. And I think that by shining a light on the right things, that divine masculine, while being humbled, is going to start to see the cracks in the plan that they've had. They're going to start to see how it's so obvious why things have not been working. And they're going to start to hone in, and what's going to be sitting there? That karmic. That's why we've got the karmic deck today. That karmic energy is going to be sitting there. So if it's a person, caught. And I'm going to be real. I know I just said not everybody has divine, karmics that are people, and not everybody's in a third party situation. But I will say that that's what actually came to my mind when I was setting up for all this. So, okay, let's see. Hmm. Okay. Is this fall? Oh, okay. Okay. So we're on the right track, guys. Again, what are the odds that I was led just now, today, before my client ordered this time, that I was divinely guided to go look at the twin flame forecast for 2025? You guys, some of you have seen that exclusive. Okay, some of you, if you're new around here, I don't do extendeds, but I do have some bonus readings. Like, they're called exclusives. So some of you have already seen this. Some of you kind of knew that this season was going to be very interesting. But to now have it plainly, and for the sun to shine, for this to be the card they decide to show, I think that there is some major stuff going down right now, and it's going to be a cold winter for divine masculines who don't listen. I also think that just because, winter's cold in general, that this could be a time where I come from, that's called cuffing season. It's cuffing season now, but even the colder it gets, the more people just want to be hugged up. I just have a lot of really strong feelings about December. I've had feelings about it all year. I get very frustrated when I feel like reunion is future and not now. And so I admit that I've pulled away also from readings this year because the energy was bleh. And if some of you have seen and heard the energy that's been coming through, like in September, we were hearing from like the dark masculine and all this different stuff. Well, now I understand it. Now I get it because I looked at the forecast, but I didn't get it back then. I did not understand why am I being asked to deliver this message. Now it makes sense because remember, even the darkest masculine, as long as there's not some very specific behaviors and traits involved, even what might appear as the darkest masculine, the most unawakened or whatever, if they are a true twin flame, then it doesn't matter. When it's time for them to awaken, when they're called to awaken, they're going to. And I think that's what we were hearing from in September. I will warn you, if you made contact with your person, if you were lurking, peeking in on their life if you weren't in contact and you could see some things going down in September. Yeah, now you understand. They were being humbled. And I think that that is really happening on the deepest level now to those DMs who have been avoiding it. But I think that it's still a lingering energy because one of the things that happens on this journey is once they become awakened, like come to knowledge or understanding about something, that wisdom eats away at them at first. And I think that might be where they are right now. That's how they're examining and they can see the cracks. What are we missing about this? Interesting. I can feel it in the air. Huh. And it's almost kind of like, hey, up above, you can kind of see down here, and then maybe even this is what we're going to focus on, but up above, there's more going on than meets the eye. Let's read about this. The element of intellect, communication, and thoughts. Now, let's take a second. Remember, one of the first cards that we saw was that elements card, where it's kind of going over all of the different elements, and it's bringing our attention to that overarching energy. But for some reason, they're like, but air is important. And when I think about autumn air, I think about crisp breezes and I think about the chilling effect that it is going to have. Remember, I said the cold winter is coming? I think that divine masculine is getting some little whispers in the wind right now. And it's catching them off guard. It's giving them those chills. They hear that whisper and it's like, what is that? They cannot ignore it. There is something when it comes to all the chaos, because remember, those elements were tied to the sword. So all the chaos that they're experiencing, it seems like the air, it seems like the communication, it seems like the things that are out of their control, and even their thoughts are out of their control right now. All that stuff is being hijacked by this energy. And I don't think that divine has a lot of patience in certain seasons because it's like sometimes it's like, all right, I got to let you do your thing. And in some seasons, it's like, you're going to fight me kicking and screaming no matter what I do. So I'm about to do it to you. Okay. And I think that is now. Please like this video. This is so important. It says there's only 2 likes on my screen. So please do like this video. Oh my gosh. I believe that almost every time we get a message that's very heavy like this, divine always shows us the light. And so I'm not going to let myself get swept away in the frustration and like the anger that could come from seeing this person's behaviors and all. I'm not going to do it. Why? Because if it's coming through this ministry, divine's going to show us where there's hope and where there's faith, and you know what I mean. So I'm like, all right, okay, so everything's crashing, your life sucks. Like, all right, divine masculine, and it's been going on all season when we're actually talking about in real time in the fall. So now what do we need to understand spiritually about this within them, within the divine masculine? This is important. This Wow. Okay. Hold on, Grace. Slow down. Slow down. I'm hearing Lionsgate. I'm hearing October. I'm hearing December. Well, I'm seeing December. I'm seeing December because this represents the energy for December. The reunion chances for all twin flames globally in the collective, to me, is the highest of the entire end of the year. Basically, after Lionsgate hits the fan. Okay. It was expected. We knew it was coming. And at the end of the year, this calm, cool knowing comes over the divine masculine. And it's no longer the gray area that they've been living in for so long. Because it's like how it's presented to them is now undeniable. That's because everything they've seen all these other years or months or weeks, how long you guys been doing this, however long since the original catalyzing awakening moment. It's like none of that counts. None of that mattered to you. None of that meant anything. But I've seen it in my own divine masculine where doesn't click, doesn't click, doesn't click. And then something specific is said. And he's like, oh, I get it now. And it's like, that's the thing that made you get it. And it's like, yep. And I think a lot of us are going to feel that way. Like, that's what made you feel just the Zen knowing that you must go forward. You must get into union. You must follow your purpose. You must fulfill the mission. Is that? So I do wonder, because it's funny, I think I would normally want to say, hey, divine feminine, what is the thing that they would need to realize? But most of us are probably going to pick some big thing. So now I guess the real question is, what would be the dumbest way for you to get into union? That sounds like such a terrible question. Oh my gosh. But that's what I feel. It's like, what would be the most ridiculous reason that you ended up getting into union that, you probably wouldn't really be proud to say, which I guess that's kind of my truth. I'm not exactly proud of how I got into union. I've always talked to Mr. Lightwork about that. Like, we don't have the most beautiful story outside of twin flames. Twin flames see the beauty of it, but I don't know, our story, I'm still looking for the beauty to start to unfold, right? Of like stuff that I can brag about and, oh, we had this moment, and but it's like, I think a lot of twin flames end up getting together that way. And it's not because of the journey. I think it's because of the masculines. When you have the masculines who have emotional insecurities and avoidance, even down to the end, sometimes some of them, they have that, just I'm seeing Richard Gere at the end of Pretty Woman, like they have that moment where it's like, I'll do anything. But some of them, they get in the union because they're forced. And I'm going to be real, there's a little bit of that energy here, not from us, but from divine. So just be aware of that it might not feel like union right away. I didn't believe I was in reunion for a long time because it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't fantasy. So I'm warning you, you might be in it right now. Oh my gosh, by the way, congratulations to Brenda. Brenda got into union. I looked over and I see your name. Is your book on the Amazon? Yes. So this book is actually only available on Amazon right now. Um, and so if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. Okay. And if you want the ebook, it's like $3. And then there's the hard book. And so just so you know, I'll try to make sure I link everything later. Okay. So back to this December, but also interestingly, October. Why? Because this month is post the initial sunning. So hear me, right? It's post that initial moment of divine kind of being like, what, you don't sit your down, and so that moment really probably sucked for them. And enough time has passed to where they're not so sensitive about that's happened. So now they're actually processing what they're supposed to process. But also, I don't think they understand the full wisdom yet, which is important. Okay, so how is divine masculine receiving it? I'm telling you, I don't know what you said to them. I don't know what you've told them, especially like about who they are. That's a good question, actually. What do you remember If they're remembering you right now, what do you remember about what you said to them? What do you think stands out the most? If they're going through a karmic awakening and suddenly divine is going to reveal something to them that you already told them, what did you say? That has actually helped people in the past. If we've had moments kind of similar-ish to this before, there are divine feminines who have figured things out from that. So, okay, let's keep going. So divine masculine receiving this energy that we're talking about from a high level place, but here's the truth. Because we're talking about what would probably be considered our lower level masculines, their inner divine self is dormant, or they're avoidant, or again emotionally immature. Them seeing something in the big picture isn't very helpful. I would actually rather see minor arcana right now, where they're maybe implementing it, they're noticing it in their life. But when it's big like this, to me, that gives like Seven of Cups, kind of like, whoa, oh, that's a lot of stuff I got to figure out. So, all right, let's see, y'all. This is what I've been. This is the energy for October in the forecast. We are so on point. This is nuts. This is the moment. And what I will say is, I think this is telling us that it's inescapable. So you might be thinking, oh, but what about my DM? You're talking about the lower of the low, but my DM is the lowest, lowest, lowest. My DM is this. There are these things that make me question if they're even a divine masculine at all. Yeah, if they're your true person, that doesn't matter. I'm just telling you right now, no divine masculine can escape what's happening right now. And guess what that means? No divine feminine can escape what's happening on their side. Divine feminine can ask you a question. You've been in your creative energy the last month or so? The last 3 weeks from today. And here's the thing, you're seeing this in the future. Don't try to go back to this time. Think about the last few weeks because that's why it's resonating for you now. But, anyways, if you're right now, what did you make? What did you do? What did you change? What did you update? What did you shift in? How are things different for you right now, today, as you're hearing this, than they were, let's say, 3 months ago? But how you kind of know it's really been the last few weeks that the change happened. Come on. Because I've been having so many calls that I'm shocked. Think about this. I haven't been doing readings. I haven't been talking about the energy. And yet I'm getting more calls than I would in the past of people talking about this is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. I'm creating this. I'm making that. I've decided this. And it's all on the same vein. So if we're in an opposite energy of this, do you know what that would be? 9 of Pentacles. You and you alone. What have you been doing? What ideas have you had? They are so tied to your person. And if you can keep it up, I think it's going to make a big difference for them as they continue to be humbled. Just don't forget that part. All right. So we're getting a lot of sun shining energy. Last card. Get out. Shut the front door. You guys. This is crazy. Grace, why are you freaking out? Well, guess what? This is November's energy. Again, if you don't believe me, go look at your exclusive forecast and you will see Page of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, High Priestess for October, November, December, and we just saw in one deck. I'm not saying we saw it over here, we saw it. No, in the energy check-in, 3 out of the 4 cards were the next 3 months. Boy, come on. 9 of Swords. Here's the truth. This humble beginning is destroying them. It's one of the main reasons why they avoid union in the first place as well. See, the reason why so many of there's the major collective and then there's these different collectives underneath. And most of us who are here hearing my voice now, we are King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, divine counterparts. And what that means is our person has some money issue, some financial thing, some wealth goal, right? Something that is often the reason they've given for why they're not in a relationship or why they can't be with us specifically. Yeah? I'm just saying. It's very rare that I meet someone that goes, no, that's not it. So if you're drawn to my channel, there's a reason. It's because we are in the same tribe. Our divine masculines so want to avoid any feeling of being low. Think about it. They want to come into union as the king, not the page. They want to come into union feeling like they have it all, which, let's be real, they never will. That's why so many people end up getting into union before they even really, the DM gets to actually start on any plan that actually works. Part of it is the divine feminine is the key, let's be real. But also, the other part of it is they've convinced themselves that they're going to feel better once they achieve something. So if they never achieve it, it does kind of help them on one side because now all their excuses are valid. And you see kind of the loop that can happen there where they can get stuck no matter what, because it's something mental they've convinced themselves of. They cannot escape this feeling. Do you want to know? Remember I just said they're going to dream about you? You want to know where I got that download from? When I was looking at the forecast, I told y'all at the beginning of the reading, when I looked at that reading and I saw those cards laid out, I got pop, 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 pop with downloads. I was like, oh, 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 oh. They're going to have nightmares. Oh, nightmare November. Remember it. They're going to have ridiculous dreams. But you're going to be in all of them. Why? Because these dreams are related to this. See, first, divine has to send an energy in. And I will tell you, September was 5 of Swords. And you want to know what happened in September? The divine masculines were acting like a-holes. They were being jerks. They were being dicks, douchey-booshies, okay? Douchebag, I guess you understand? Okay, so they were being that way, even if it wasn't expressed, right? But they were being that way internally because there was a smug sense of satisfaction that they were right. What I mean by that is, remember how I just said that sometimes their excuses are validated, and so it kind of keeps them from having to take responsibility for stuff? So something happened, I think, in the summertime that proved their opinion about life being unfair or something like that. It proved it right. So they were like, see, I'll never have to do all these different things, which we kind of see as like their divine responsibility. I'll never have to because nothing ever works out for me. Nothing's ever right. And it wasn't a sadness like, oh man, I hope it does. It was like a, yeah, whatever. Now, imagine right after that, divine comes in with the humility. Boom. And then after you've been worn down, and you can no longer sit in your excuses, then divine comes in with this sense of heaviness. What have I done? What have I done? Ooh, I'm actually shocked and amazed right now that those 3 cards just came out back to back to back like that. So what must we understand about this divine masculine and how they're experiencing this season? Yeah, major transitions, major transformations, death on their doorstep. And it's really not going anywhere. Every day they see the sun, something's going down. I don't know how else to explain it. Major shifts are happening. Divine is not going to let them go into the next year the same, and divine is not going to let them go another day the same. And that means every single day, something in them is going to change. And we're talking about some of the most stubborn behaviors, some of the most avoidant nonsense that they do, and they've gotten very, very good at, and they've even justified in their own mind. This is huge. What are we missing though? What do we need to understand about this transformation season that's taking place, especially where this karmic interference is concerned? Because that to me is the one thing that has not been clear. It's almost like divine wanted to make sure we knew we were in the right place first. Maybe that will come through here. I'm glad I actually pulled this deck now. But I I'm wanting to see that this is a good thing, right? But is it a bad thing? Like what's going on here? This is how they're receiving it. They're receiving it as death. What are we missing? And there's that shining sun again. I believe that more than any other situation, we are absolutely talking about third party nonsense. We are talking about a karmic person who has been portraying themselves as an empress when really they're not. And this tells me that we're also not talking about, because a lot of people miss the fact that not every divine masculine in the entire world is with a karmic if it's a third party. Like sometimes that third party is actually another divine feminine who that's not their person, that's your person. But they have taken on the role of assisting this divine masculine with transformation through maybe some more of the toxic stuff that if you had to deal with it, you could never love them or respect them afterwards. But that divine feminine, it fits their growth as well. So I acknowledge that there are divine masculines out there who are not with full on karmics. I think this is talking about those that are. I think this is saying, no, 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 no. Don't get it twisted. These are divine masculines who ran into karmic cycles over and over and over again for their own selfish reasons, not willing to acknowledge the consequences, also hoping they could get away with things and then ultimately having to deal with it. I believe that this is a death, an ending to the karmic flag being flown. If you remember in the beginning of the reading, we saw the sun and we saw the wand. And I said, there's a little kid on a horse. Now I see what? Death on the horse with the flag and the wand and the sun setting. I really do think that this is letting us know it's going to be the divine masculine who crushes this. It's going to be the divine masculine who says it's over. So if you have a divine masculine who the only thing holding them back from you two being together, not I'm not talking about like their reasons and stuff like that. I mean, if there's something legitimately in their life, like some sort of relationship or situationship or whatever, if the only thing holding them back is them making the choice to leave, I believe that is happening this season, but I don't think it's happening just on some like, oh, I guess we'll just leave and everything's going to be amicable. No, I believe that they've been caught. I can't explain it any other way. I think that this karmic got caught. I think that the divine masculine is no longer going to be able to deny what's really going on because they see it with their own eyes. And you know what? That energy happens from time to time. I'm really not that surprised. We've had these super moons. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot that has come through and said, don't get it twisted. There is more going on than you think. Oh, wait. So we have death and the lovers, which when we put this together is what? 13 plus 6 is 19. It's the sun card that I just mentioned again. And I think that what this says is as much as your divine masculine wants to come in as the king, and truly as much as you want them to come in as the king, because frankly, you're not even in queen energy anymore. You're in empress energy. So if they don't come in as the king, like what, how many steps down are you going to have to take to meet them where they are? Like, I get that. Well, guess what? I believe that this says, divine feminine, it's okay for you to have levels and layers to who you are in this world. And that Nine of Pentacles version of you is not you stepping off your throne as the Empress. It's you going into your garden. And when you're in your garden, you tap into the part of your Empress nature that is most successful in that space. And that's your Queen of Pentacles self. You're not stepping down to come and, be with your page. It's simply an area or an aspect of your life. It's like somebody who could go be like a president somewhere, but then also go like play pool with the boys or, go and have girl time with the girls. I don't know what girls do. What's boy time? What's girl time? So it's like, I think that this says, don't be afraid if you hear that your divine masculine is going to be coming in on the white horse, except it's a baby Like, don't be afraid of that. Cause I know that's like, what? Yeah. Like, if you want to twist it into something weird, you can. So it's like, don't be afraid of that. And also, don't be upset with them if they don't come in as the king, because the truth is, the King of Pentacles without the Queen of Pentacles is a dick. Cold, rigid, unyielding, probably the worst king in the deck if he doesn't have his queen with him. She is his heart. She is the heart of the entire kingdom. She is the abundance. That's why the Nine of Pentacles is one of the most abundant cards you'll see in the deck. And she alone can do that. The king brings a key to unlock the abundance. And that is where that is the exponential growth, right? But you being able to exist as the Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, anywhere in there at any given time is just proof that you're a multifaceted being, right? Your divine masculine coming in as the page or maybe even the knight is far better than you having to deal with this cold, rigid king who thinks that they know it all and they have it all together. Don't be afraid that they may be coming in as a little baby on a white horse. All right. It's the best that they can do. And the beauty about you as a cultivator is that you know how to make things grow real fast. So, okay. Oh my gracious. Now let's look at this karmic energy. How has this karmic energy been interfering with the divine masculine since, let's really just say, Lionsgate? All right. What do we need to know? King of Wands, Nine of Wands. Having the divine masculine put up more barriers against their reasons for not wanting to be in relationships. Now, this is interesting because the divine masculines, in some cases, are full on in a karmic relationship with someone, right? So it's like, I don't understand. How can they be putting up more boundaries? Well, do you know what that says? It says that they've been fighting. It says that this karmic person, place, thing, situation, whatever, has been causing the divine. Remember, oh my gosh, remember earlier I said somewhere in September, the divine masculines had something bad that happened where they were like, oh, see, nothing's fair. Life's not fair. I'm always under attack. Nothing ever works out for me. I don't have to try to be a good person. Why would I bother? And they were kind of like, haha, see, I'm pretty sure that was the karmic. I don't know what they did, but all they did was confirm and prove, oh, that's why I can't be with a partner. So, this is the crazy part about being in a karmic relationship that a lot of us that are just lovers at heart don't understand. How can you be in a karmic relationship with someone and be around them all day, every day, or whatever it is, and there's no love? And maybe you're even like sleeping together and there's no love? Like, how do you even do that? But the divine masculines actually really, really like it. They like for this karmic to kind of come in and almost in a little bit of a narcissistic way, like they trophy them, right? They really trophy each other. It's like, okay, look at this great partner I have. Yeah, look at this great partner I have. Oh, like, aren't we such a great couple? Ha 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 ha. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, they don't give a damn about each other. And the divine masculine appreciates that because it's like, oh, thank goodness. You care so much about yourself. You're not even looking at what I'm doing. I can do whatever I want. Mm, okay. So we have this divine masculine, this King of Wands represents this husband energy. So interesting that the wand came up really strong, okay, and it kind of continued through. And then we have the Nine of Wands, which is someone putting up a fence or a barrier, not really knowing, hey, which side am I supposed to be standing on? Which side's my kingdom again? I got a little bit confused when I was setting this fence up. Uh-oh, where do I go? And so when you put this together, you get 10 of Wands, and you get someone who says, I'm putting it all down. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. So what I will say is, the breakup energy that I'm getting is kind of expected just because this person, they already didn't really have much going for them. But now, when you add in whatever happened in August, September, it's like the divine masculine from that point forward was kind of on their way out. I knew somebody like that in my past, a family member that they always had an overlap between relationships. They could never be done with one until they already had someone else to go be with? And that's a very clear sign of that emotional immaturity. I don't want to be alone. I just need something to fill the space and time. I need someone, kind of on me and all that. I am hoping that if you end up being the person that the divine masculine moves to, that you can be aware of what they're coming from, that they might not be telling you everything. And there's that overlap of energies where they're bringing in an energy that says, I'm really done with relationships and stuff. So, this is where I would say, if they go to you, something happens in November with all them dreams. If they don't go to you, it's because they've just made this decision. Why would they go to the one person who they know desires to just love them fully, you know? So keep these things in mind. This is how our divine masculines are thinking as they're processing this stuff, especially when they're moving selfishly. So okay, the karmic situation has had them kind of say, I'm putting it all down. I'm done. But we know that if they have that emotional need for companionship, that they're going to find somebody new. Okay? What else? More wands, 7 of wands. And notice the wands. We've got 9 and 7. These are energies of suspicion. There's the fight. And 7 of wands is kind of pushing back the new beginning, but also wanting it and not feeling safe, secure, or confident in taking the leap. So I think the divine masculine knows that there's other paths available to them, but also has some worries about how to actually make that happen, right? Like, how do I make sure that I don't end up right back here or in a worse position? That's one area of their wisdom that I'm actually like happy it's there. Okay, let's keep going. So what do we need to know about this? Interesting. Last part, 8 of wands. Notice that we just had wands, 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 karmic. You notice that, right? In the karmic deck, all wands. We've been talking about wands the entire time. I believe that this, whoa, the reason that this next few weeks and basically just the rest of the year is going to be so heavy for them. Have you ever had a relationship? Some of you have had this on your twin flame journey with your person, and it was like a lot to heal from. But have you ever had a relationship where at the beginning of it you were different, right? You were less aware of yourself. You had not grown as much as you had, towards the end of the relationship. And so you looked back and you were like, I cannot believe that you treated me that way, or that I let you do that, but you did it anyway. Like, whatever it is, I cannot believe it. Where you lived the whole time, the whole relationship was like, oh, it's fine, it's whatever. Maybe there's lots of confusion and there's fighting and da 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 da, but you never really just look at them and think you're evil. And then at the end, you're like, what? There is no justification for any of this. You've been a piece ever since that. Have you ever felt that way? Something in me says divine masculine's going through that. They are now looking, and I think it's going to get worse as the year goes in, because I'm thinking that they're still kind of mad at life. I think they're still seeing the karmic nonsense as just that, just like some relationship stuff, which they are really good at shoving down and ignoring. And I think that they don't quite yet understand this bigger picture. But as the energies get worse, and I think that's what's going to happen here. And here's why they get worse. They're going faster and getting harder to deal with because there's no longer that buffer. So at the end of that relationship that I was just talking about, where you're like, I just realized this whole thing was a lie and that I just couldn't see the truth, but now I do and I can't unsee it. Well, let's say you couldn't just walk away that day. Or let's say you were trying to ignore that feeling because it's like, I don't want to think like that. And maybe you're stay with this person for another couple weeks, months, years, even, who knows, right? But that whole time after the awakening happens, it's like everything feels so much worse and so much heavier. And when they do the stuff that they've always done, now that you see them in a different way, you don't have the same patience with them. That's what's happening. That's what's going to continue to happen. I'm going to let you know right now, the longer your person stays with this person in this energy where they're supposed to be ending it, the worse it's going to be when it all goes down. It's going to be gross because you've got two people who, frankly, have built something together because of how it makes them look and feel. Again, and there's a little bit of a narcissistic edge to this, okay? So they have more reasons to stay in it because of how they're worried about being perceived, or the excuses and how what people are going to think of them, all this different stuff. But the longer they stay, the more angry they're going to get, the more disgusted they're going to get. So what I will say is, if we look at that from a divine perspective, that tells us that if divine allows that to happen, kind of hardening their heart to stay in it for some reason instead of to release, it's because it's to make sure they don't go back. Like, I'm going to make you hate them so you don't go back. And unfortunately, that can happen in reverse ways as well. Some of you kind of know what I'm talking about here. So what we have is the divine masculine probably in November really, and December really. October, I think it's starting. But I think November, tied to those nightmares, is the realizations. Remember the energy. We have air, okay? And wands are fire. But when you put air with fire, you get a blaze that is very hard to stop. I think that divine is using this frustration that the divine masculine has with the karmic and with the way that their life is going, because I think they really were not expecting to feel this way. Like at the beginning of the year, I think they made plans. I think they had all these ideas. I think that they thought that their life was just going to be what it is at that point forever. And now by August, they're like, what is this? And by, the fall and coming into winter, it's like, I'm so upset that my comfort zone has been taken, that my ego kind of wants to stay. But I'm also so furious with everything that I'm coming to understand about what has been, what our relationship, like all the falsehoods and this karmic nonsense, that I am burning up inside and I can't stay. So I'll be intrigued to see kind of what happens in everybody's life. I thank you for keeping me updated whenever you guys remember to email me. All right. What are we missing about this karmic? Y'all, this is unreal. We have now gotten 5 cards out of the karmic deck. They're all wands, and the 5th one is the karmic card in the Twin Flame Collective. So, okay. What we're missing about this is classic karmic nonsense. Like, exactly what you think of, because I think we all have a different understanding, right? But exactly what you can think of when you think of like your person and what you probably expect of their karmic, what you've noticed in their habits, and classic. And here's the beauty. Because the bad thing is like, ugh, right? Like that's playing out. But the beauty is, thank goodness, because now that means the divine masculine is seeing it for what it is. Classic karmic nonsense. Please like the video, friends. Oh, yeah. Okay. What are we missing? Y'all, it's like you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Wait a second, Grace. One more time. We had the sword, we had the sun, we had the wand. The sun card was, I got distracted thinking about the child on the horse, and yet it became very prevalent. And now it's all through here. This 10, 1 plus 9 is 10. This 10 of wands says the divine masculine cannot go forward because of this karmic nonsense until they release the extra and embrace the new beginning. The karmic intentionally ensures that the divine masculine doesn't embrace the new beginning, meaning death cannot occur. So here's something we need to understand. There are quite a few things that, oh my gosh, oh gosh. Okay, Grace, slow down. There are quite a few things that the karmic has done and set up in the relationship dynamic to make the divine masculine feel guilty to walk away. Now, what I just heard was poisoning the well. And I've been talking about this lately. So I'm like, hold on. That's why I was like, wait a second. Why did that just come to me? Poisoning the well. The well was poisoned. Whoa. Okay. Here's what I see. I see that the karmic may have set up some sort of, not even an escape plan. What would that be called? Like a contingency plan, where from the very beginning, they said things like, Oh my gosh. They said things like, "You're only with me until you get your life together and then you're going to leave." So now they've been hearing that over and over again. And the divine masculine is like, I don't want to prove this person right. I don't want them to think that's what this has been. So let me stay. You see what I'm saying? It's messed up, but the well has been poisoned. And the divine masculine has been ignoring these feelings because of what the karmic has said. Now, this is very interesting because we're talking about this communication, the emotional connections, feelings, relationships. That's what I think that this wand's energy, it's trying to show us that there is the like cups or love side of things here. It's trying to show us how the interactions and the relationship has been playing out. So we need to know there's an actual dynamic there, even if we don't respect it. But what we really need to glean from that is that the divine masculines, they have kind of been under the guidance or control in many aspects of their life of this person. In some cases, it's stuff they don't care about. They're like, I don't care what we eat, so sure, you can control what I eat. Oh, I don't care, where we live. You want to move? Let's move. Like that kind of stuff where the divine masculine is just worried about being selfish and in their own little world, they will go along with so much stuff. And the karmic has kind of built in this force field to kind of keep your energy out. And I think that it's going to be a very big deal for the divine masculine to actually say, you tricked me, or you're trying to manipulate me. I don't believe this. I don't, that's not love. Mm. This is so interesting. Why? It's very important to realize that the karmic has been attempting to use these type of manipulative tactics, and how so much of the relationship, like, they didn't have certain fights because these things had already been decided by this manipulation, right? Like there were just certain things that the divine masculine never really got a handle on. And now for them to come forward and just be like, hey, I'm done, it's going to take so much emotional, like inner turmoil for them to say, I got to do this. Like I can't stay. I can't keep doing this way, for them to actually step forward. So what is it that divine is doing? What is it that divine could give your divine masculine nightmares about? Like I just want you to start to think about this, because if this is your season for union and this is the energy that you're dealing with, I think the most important thing that you can do is make sure you're in your empress energy, right? Like be in that pure love, understand them as they are, keep getting downloads that keep you high. All right. But I also will say you're going to have to deal with some stuff in the physical world where the divine masculine has convinced themselves of some things. The karmic knew about these unhealthy things and said, let me work with that, and has now convinced them of other things. And so there's only so much room for you to do anything. Making a mistake could cost you because, the karmic has ran the divine masculine down to the bone, right? Think about these things. Make sure that you're not contributing to whatever happened back in August and September, because back then, I believe the divine masculine got some sort of confirmation that this is why they shouldn't be in a relationship, because of this freaking karmic. You got to be aware there's been a lot of heaviness, and I think that this is even going to wear down on the divine masculine. The 10 of wands is health related, or health, stress related health concerns. Yeah. I think that the stress of their relationship, it wasn't like this before. If it was, they pushed it down, they ignored it. Now the divine masculine cannot see the karmic the same way. There's a disgust, there's contempt. And it's very, very difficult for them. So they would be going from contempt to whatever you guys left behind. If I were you, I would really work to make sure that the energy field is as clear as possible. And I would ask myself frequently, so what is it that I need to consider when it comes to my divine masculine and their fears, their worries, their beliefs about relationships and women and all that kind of stuff? Where do I need to kind of be sensitive right now? It's messed up because it's like asking you to make yourself almost go gray rock, but I don't think it's forever, and I don't think that's for everyone. I'm just warning you, if you know your DM has maybe some misogynoir, is that what it's called in there? Some misogynistic behaviors and tendencies, just don't trigger that. when you guys come into contact, because it'll just delay you guys for no reason. Now that you have this information, I think that you can avoid that. So, okay, we've got a very interesting picture. Four of Wands underneath the karmic. The karmic has absolutely been blocking union. Whoever this resonates for, I think that it's important for you to know your connection with this person really, really bothers this karmic. And they are absolutely trying to do what they can to keep you apart. And they're not trying to do what they can when it comes to like changing the DM's mind. Like I said, instead, they're just working with it. Lots of toxicity. Yikes. All right, let's move these out of the way. Bree, I don't know what you up to, but I'm gonna put you on timeout because it looks like somebody tried to tell you to stop and you in here typing in all caps and acting up. I don't like that. I don't know what happened. So hopefully Bree is not actually just being a really cool person and I missed that, because some people do just type in all caps. But you over here laughing at people, please don't be like that in my chat. Child, why would you do that? All right, what I want to do first is I just want to get some clarity about the reading that we're going to get. So I'm going to pull four. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to pull 4 cards. I love these cards. This linen, whatever this texture is. Oh, I love it. I want to pull 4 cards so that we can have this deeper understanding. I want one at a time, guys. Thank you. Okay. Pentacles. Makes sense. One at a time. I'm going to take this. Salamander Autumn. That's giving pure king cutting his branch off the tree type vibes. Okay. All right. I mean, I really do feel, I think I was right about even the cuffing season. I really do feel like Divine Masculine wants a relationship that's less stressful. They still don't want the responsibilities, but they want a relationship that actually makes them feel safe. They're starting to understand like all this nonsense that I'm engaging in and I'm experiencing could probably, maybe most likely is, okay, somewhere along that spectrum of maybe this is why I can't be successful. Maybe this is why I can't be happy. What do we have? Textures. This is asking the Divine Masculine to look around their life, look around their world. Ooh, death just was there. You saw it? All right, last one. One more card, please. What is this energy? And water, their emotions. Ooh, storms are brewing, guys. All right, so I kind of have a better picture of what we're dealing with. Divine Masculine needs to stop ignoring their emotions. They need to acknowledge how their day-to-day is being affected by this relationship. But I think that the number one most important thing is that money, is that aspect of finances. Let me see. Can I move this up without totally... Oh, no, I forgot. I got to loosen. I just want you to be able to see the cards a little bit better. Oh, no. The only problem is this thing don't... You gonna stay? Okay. I don't know if that's gonna stay because it's not really well built. All right. So now let's do a quick reading. Yeah. Here? No, here. Okay. Oh, that's 2. There we go. Okay. Like that, Grace. And karmic energy. There we go. All right. And then I would like to pull a clarifier. This is the Divine Masculine Communication Clarifier. If you are interested in a full integration set, there are 7 decks. They align with each chakra. And it is a great way to help your Divine Masculine find the words when you guys are working together, healing together, but it's also a great tool for readers. So you'll see how I use it in this reading. But again, the full 7 pack, it's called the Masculine Integration Set. And the goal is to provide this deck with the divine masculine and allow them to pull words so that they can, or pull phrases and terms and sentences so that they can learn how to communicate their feelings. All right. So if you're interested, be sure to check out the decks. I think I put the link in the description. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh no, did that shut down the chat? Now nobody's saying anything. Is everybody okay? Oh my gosh. Okay, back to this. What do you want to say? What do you want us to understand, divine masculine? How are you feeling about all this? Okay. How are you feeling? Wow, how funny is that? How are you feeling? How are you? Can't even stop it now. How are you feeling, divine masculine? All right, this is definitely about these feelings, these emotions, okay? I'm going to hold this till the end. Maybe we'll check that. So let's go ahead and get started with the official reading. I know this is long, and I'll probably have to share it in the future because I know a lot of people are going to miss it, but I'm really glad we actually did this. So thank you, darling, for ordering this. All right. What's the main thing that divine is going to do to stop the karmic interference and allow divine masculine to actually process this, end this karmic cycle, and hopefully our goal, right, is coming into union, but at the very least to move forward, to stop just remaining stagnant. So what do we need to know? The deer, and we got the papa and the mama, and there's Bambi. What is this? Gentleness, grace, intuition, and sensitivity. That's calling us back to the high priestess that we saw, which I believe was confirmed for December, but also a little bit for now. They're getting the beginning of the downloads. They're not going to integrate them yet because it's a lot. It's very confusing and they've been avoiding it. But I believe the divine is saying to them, this rough life you've been living, where there's no purity, there's no sensitivity, there's no softness with this karmic, you think that it's better because you don't have any responsibilities, but it's not. There are things like, humans kind of, we hear stuff like, oh, an 8-second hug releases endorphins and can actually help someone's mental health get better in the moment, right? Having constant contact and connections with solid people in a good support group can be more life changing than winning the lottery. You hear some of this stuff if you're in certain enlightened circles, but otherwise, there are people out there who have no idea in the power of a hug or a kiss or kind words or assistance or whatever, right? The divine masculine has completely thrown out the value of love. And do you know what that means? That the part of them that wants to be the protector is kind of being told, nah, because the person that you're supposed to protect, they're stronger than you or they're rougher than you. There's no balance, and their inner masculine wants that balance with the feminine, but their idea of what femininity is and what it means is actually very negative, very dark, almost sinister. This is like, I am not going to keep letting you listen to those lies. I'm not going to keep letting you believe that, divine masculine. Divine is going to make certain that divine masculine learns the truth about love, about connections from not just a spiritual side, but even the physical. And I think that it's because of the physical world, the things that they care about, the pentacles, their ability to do more, to be more, to step into the fullness of who they are, that's actually going to make them say, huh, maybe I should take this seriously. Ordinarily, I wouldn't care because of whatever thing I've decided doesn't matter. But if you're telling me that having the right person in my life could actually help me become the person I want to become, okay, maybe I'm listening. But what's the excuse or because that's what I kind of get for this is the first initial reaction or feeling is this. But I will say that this deck has a lot of really beautiful things that the divine masculine feels towards the feminine. So maybe hopefully it's not an excuse, but let's just be real. There's always something with them, and that is naturally going to be their first response. Let's find out, yeah? Oh, okay. I like this. I'm glad. I'm glad it's not an excuse. I will say, some of us have heard our divine masculine say, I believe in us, I believe in my person, and still think it's not time. But to me, this says, even though I don't believe in love, and I've even found a way to start to distrust you, like I've found a way to lump you in with people who you act nothing like, but I've made that, stereotype or that generalization. Even though I see the world that way, I still believe in me and you because I can't deny that connection. Now, I think that's very interesting that the way divine is going to bring them to this truth about love is to point to the one thing that they still see as something special. This connection we have, I can't help but believe in it. It's like a testimony for them. Very interesting. How many of you, raise your hand if you've dealt with that, where you can tell your divine masculine sees you for who you are in many ways, like sees you as different and can tell there's something going on, or even point blank has said to you, like, I think you're my person, or, I can tell that you were made for me, all that kind of stuff. It's crazy how often we hear these things in this collective, but also where maybe they've been avoiding that truth because on the other side, it's like, oh, but you're still just like everybody else. And it's like, what? Have you ever experienced that? Would you be surprised to know this, or deep down, did you already know that they did still believe? All right, let's keep going. So we see what divine is going to work on and how by tapping into the one part of the divine masculine who can't deny the truth, right? I know what I saw, I know what I felt. Okay. How is the divine masculine going to receive that? Because I'm hearing it. It's like I still believe in us, but but in 10 years. And it's like, what are you talking about? Sorry, I'm like, what is going on here? Okay. How are they receiving this energy? How is it showing up in them spiritually? Ah, they're a little bit confused. It's hard for them because it goes against everything their ego has taught them to do. Their ego has taught them that if they just pretend they're fine, then they're fine. If they just say everything's all good, then guess what? It's all good. But that's not true. That's not true at all, in fact. And they've known that, but they've spent so much of their life alone, like truly alone, where no one in their life was really trustworthy. No one in their life really cared about them. And if you came in and then showed them that it was possible, as good as it made them feel in the moment, again, what happens to them is then they start to reflect on the past and they go, why could you love me like this, but nobody else could? And now they're back to being angry or they're back to being hurt. They're receiving this energy and they're trying to tell themselves that that's not a problem. So the first thing that comes in is divine is saying, hey, there's a better way to live your life. There's better people to live your life with. It feels better. It will not acknowledge, but it will fulfill the part of you that has this desire to be a certain type of person in a certain type of situation. It's still possible. There's still hope. And their first thing is, no, 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 no. What are you even talking about? What do you mean? It's like walking up to somebody who just fell down and you bring them an ice pack and they're like, I don't need an ice pack. And you're like, but I saw you fall and hit your head and you have a pretty big lump there. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's this. Hey, I see something in you and I can help you. Oh, I don't need any help. But the beauty of the Two of Swords is that they go through one sword and then the other, and then back and forth. But still, they can't deny the other choice. And that says, though their first inclination is to go, no, 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 I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. There is a point coming very soon after where they go, well, maybe. But you might say, well, then why? If they can get to that point, then why? Why won't they just do it? Ego. Their ego is desperate to keep things as they are at all times. It's a safety thing from back in the day for them. They haven't felt safe in life. This is how they control things. Divine coming in and handing them the life they want on a silver platter is not okay to the ego. The ego says, whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't. Because then what if it doesn't go well? What if things get messed up? I'm too scared. No, 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 no. What's the excuse? What's the feeling? What's the response? What does the divine masculine deep down really know when they have this energy coming in? And I think that's the back and forth. I am in love with you. I, what? Oh my God. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Slow. I'm hearing so many things like, what does me being in love with you have anything to do with us being together? What? But that's the kind of stuff that they can say in the moment that will make us, snap a little bit, like in our head, like, what? But that's what it's like when divine sends this energy in, their instant reaction is, no, 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 I'm fine. Everything's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who my partner is. It does. I know I want that, so I'll have that, but I don't want anything more than this because there's too many feelings involved. I don't do well with feelings. And then the other side, they kind of get over here and they're like, man, what do I do? Man, I feel this feeling and everything is saying it doesn't matter that I want to be comfortable. It doesn't matter that I want to be safe. Child, this is the back and forth. It's scary because it's just like, are you serious? But it's not scary because it's like, oh, I've processed this for so long that I get it. This is what you do. Now, here's the beauty. So far, I have not seen any energy. We haven't hit the karmic yet, fine. But I'm saying I have not seen any energy here that says they have ill will towards you, negative feeling towards you. I don't see that. In fact, where you're concerned, I think that there's this little bubble in their life that no one can pop, even the karmic, and they probably even try to keep that away from the karmic. And yet, I think the karmic knows that's there, and that's why they're so jealous. Very interesting. There's nothing in here that says, I don't want to go that way because I hate you. You hurt me. I'm mad. No, it's more like, I'm afraid my ego has been running things. If I make a change, I don't know what's going to happen. I promised my karmic some dumb stuff because of the manipulation. You see what I'm saying? And I just want to make sure you see that it's not ill will towards you, which is just really important on this journey because sometimes you wonder, right? Like, do you even hate me or something? It's like, no, they hate themselves. That's why it feels like they hate you. Twin. You understand? All right. So, what is the karmic going to do to interfere with this? What is the karmic going to do to try to block divine masculine seeking the softness? Before I even pull the card, let me tell you, I feel like the easiest thing would be, well, how about I start to act softer? Or, and this is two peas in the same pot, unfortunately, or how about I tell you you're a pussy? You're a punk. You want you want softness? What kind of man wants softness? I'm saying you really don't know the kind of conversations that happen behind closed doors between two people who really don't give a damn about each other. It's so unhealthy to be in this type of karmic connection. But all right, anyway, my bad. What's going on? What are they gonna do? How is this deck all wands? Because I'm just telling you, did you notice that in the karmic deck? Wait, did we see? Was there one that wasn't a wand? No, right? It's all wands. We've seen almost the entire wands suit in this one deck. I think that, remember I showed you the 8 of wands in this deck? I think that this is the Knight of Wands. I think that the karmic is going to try to busy the masculine, which, pause. That's an easy thing. We don't even have to speculate on that. The next few months of the year are typically very busy, very fast paced. We know once we hit like Halloween time that it's January. I know that sounds like, no, it's not, but it's like kind of, you know? And so there's something here that says the karmic is going to try to get the divine masculine to basically just skate through this season because that's what they've always done. Whenever they have problems, whenever there's something wrong, whenever there's a fight, whenever there's a disagreement, they it's either they steamroll over it, they argue but they don't resolve it. There's always something. And so if the karmic can just get this divine masculine to just internalize all that hatred, make them feel guilty, manipulate them into, oh, this is too tough of a time. Like, what if they try to have the conversation? It's like, oh, I think I need to leave. Well, this is how could you do that to us? Oh my gosh, it's the holidays. Come on, at least wait till after the holidays. That's how some people end up never getting divorced. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, well, wait until this, wait until this, wait until this, and then they get complacent. This is where I think divine has to put this energy on the divine masculine. Divine has to make the divine masculine so overwhelmed and just frustrated with all of this stuff with the karmic relationship that they're in. Oh, my ear's ringing. Interesting. Right ear, by the way. I don't know what that means, but somebody told me something about it before. But it's like divine has to do that because if not, then the karmic could just kind of snake in and keep everything exactly the same. So if you are wondering why through the rest of this year, if you, especially because again, we've got some people here right now who are getting into union. If you've got some people or in union who you know that this is the energy you're dealing with, and you're like, oh, this is what's going on here. Or if you get contacted and this is the energy you're hit with, I just don't want this to ruin your chances because you missed it. So now you're aware. Now you can start to formulate a plan here and say, how am I going to deal with this person kind of in like a breakup energy? They've been being, oppressed. They've been having divine really forcing them to make a change. How do I make sure that I don't jump on the dog pile, so to speak, and make them feel even more weight? But also, how do I make sure that I find the right ways and the right tactics and strategies to help them through this without making them think I'm the manipulator now? So I really want you to reflect on that. This says that there's going to be a lot of things. The karmic's going to try to keep things up. And here's the messed up part. Again, there are some of you who are listening to this because at the very beginning, you knew this was your person's karmic boss, not their girlfriend or their wife or their husband or their, you know what I'm saying? No, you knew that this was the job. And you are now about to watch that job try to wring out every little last bit of energy they can get from your person. Like you need to be aware and sit down and actually have a little bit of an idea, a little, maybe even a plan, because if not, divine masculine deep down may not want to stay stuck in this situation, but on the surface, they're not going to be able to handle all this energy without the right guidance. What do we need to know about this? What do they want us to understand when it comes to this karmic, the busyness, all that? Oh, oh my gosh. Look, again, it could have been here, could have been here. Still a beautiful message, but to have it in the karmic space, no one will ever compare to you. And the beauty in the divine masculine coming to this realization yet again, because I highly doubt it's the first time, for them to come to this realization now says, oh, every time something goes wrong, who do I think about? Every time something goes right, who do I think about? Every time my life changes, who do I think about? Every who it's you. It's always you. And going through this karmic situation with this person has kind of confirmed that for them. Some divine masculines need that. And it's messed up, right? Like we didn't need that. We didn't need to go off and sleep with a bunch of people or date people or do anything else in order to be sure they were our person. In fact, even before we found this and started, looking stuff up and we had all the questions that I answer here in this book. It's like before that, we still knew. Before we knew, we knew. And we didn't need any treachery or anything to keep us or stop us, or we just suddenly were in the flow. To have someone in that same connection not have that exact same response feels almost disrespectful. But don't get it twisted. The beauty in divine masculine's way of showing love, once that love is directed towards you, it is not what you expect, but it feels better than you think it would, better than what you were expecting. And I want you to know it's in them. It never really went anywhere. They just haven't been in the right circumstances to feel safe to show you. And that's not on you, that's on them. So, what do you need to know overall? What is divine trying to help you understand about this karmic situation? Nine of Cups. Your divine masculine had a dream, and this life isn't it. I do think that when we think about the Nine of Cups and him he has all his cups in a row, right? And he has them almost set up like on a trophy shelf. And when we reflect on that feeling of being right there, I'm so close, I'm almost there. Why is it so hard for me to get to 10 with you? It's a good question to ask this karmic, yeah? Why is it that I feel further away from my dreams than I used to, than I ever did before? What's going on here? You need to understand that your divine masculine, in their behaviors that they're in right now, they would have found a way to blame you for their failures. They would have found a way to bring you into their nonsense. They would have found a way to pull you into a karmic cycle. They would have found a way to do all of that in this energy. So divine, let the karmic go ahead and deal with that instead. And because the karmic is such a icky person and has such an icky energy that's very anti, that goes against, that's an opposer and opposition energy, it was only natural that they were going to rock this, pick it up, destroy it, toss it off a cliff. Because that's what they do with everything in their life. And if divine allowed your person to be with someone like that, it's because your DM could fly. Don't be worried about this relationship. Don't be worried about the dreams. There's nothing really timeline wise that your divine masculine is off time on. If they're not a true twin, that's another story. But if we're talking about true twin flames, every single step we're on is guided. Every single step we take is divinely led. And once we become aware, once we become good people seeking to do good things, the truth is we're our own worst enemy. We already were before, but now we really are, because that internal criticism and that lack of belief and the imposter syndrome, that's the only thing that really holds you up once you're aware as a twin. Divine has given your divine masculine an opportunity to escape this loop. And it's like a 4-month period, a season of time where at any point they could step off and come right into union. But they have got to see that there actually is a right and a wrong. And I don't know about you, but I know in my divine masculine, he is an Aquarius. So I know that kind of adds to it. Some of my Aquarians out there will be like, yeah, I get that. It's very hard for Mr. Lightwork to pin down right and wrong, because in his mind, everything's relative. But ever since he started on his journey, he's starting to realize there is a right and a wrong way. I don't mean like the right way to clean the dishes, okay? I mean divine versus not divine. And your divine masculine did not believe that, and would not have believed that even being with you. They would have just thought you were trying to manipulate them, and all the stuff that the karmic is actually doing, they would have accused you of when you were just being genuine. But being with someone and seeing what real manipulation looks like, being in a situation where there really is no reason for the constant failure. They've got it all together. Like, what the heck? They thought they had it all under control. That's what I put in the title. I see now. It's like, well, now they can't unsee it. They can't turn around and blame you. And now they can actually watch how when they choose right, how everything works. When they choose wrong, nothing works. When they choose right, everything works. Before, They wouldn't have seen it and they still would have made excuses. They would have just kind of talked in circles. Now it's undeniable. What are we missing? What have we not thought to think about? I think in general, when it comes to these karmic dynamics, Seven of Wands, it's a karmic relationship. They're not happy. They're not happy together. They're not okay. There's nothing good coming from it. I mean, I've got clients where their DM is with someone where they're like building businesses together and da 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 da, and it all appears good. And then I'll get an email and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, there was this thing in the news." I'm not gonna. I don't. Okay, I got to be careful about what I say because that's actually private. But I'm. Oops. There's just certain things where people will come to me and they'll be like, "Yeah, I was trusting the social media view that I had of their relationship only to find out that they crashed and burned and that the whole thing was a house of cards in more ways than one than you can think of." So, okay, this Seven of Wands tells me, oh, and that 9 plus 7 is 16. That's why you can't have your freaking dreams come true because it's just tower after tower after tower after tower. It's never ending. But here's the reason, because some of you might be like, well, why would the divine masculine stay in that? Because that's what their life was like before they got with the karmic anyways. Think about it. Going the direction of the karmic, especially after being with your twin, you know what I'm saying? It's like if they didn't know you, that's one thing. But now that they've met you or been brought to awareness of your energy or whatever, making that decision could feel like, what am I missing here? It's like what you're missing is that's how they've always done things. That's just kind of who they are. That's who they've become. It's not you. You didn't cause this. It's not that you weren't enough. It's just what they do. And divine is going to let them make that mistake only so many times until it's time. And I'm thinking that the reason this is happening is because for these divine masculines, it's time for the dream to come true. November, Nightmare November. Oh my gosh, I got to do a reading on Nightmare November now. Oh my gosh. Nightmare November is going to bring about a lot of the opposite of this energy. All right. The Nine of Cups and the Nine of Swords are equal opposite energies, dreams and nightmares to me. I just have a feeling that everything that they're about to see, about to dream, about to experience for the next couple weeks and months here, it's everything. It's the kick in the butt. It's everything they've been missing, everything that has been making them think the way they've been living is normal and appropriate is going out the window with what they're about to go through. Oh my gosh. What did I say earlier? I said they're going to have dreams about you constantly next month. I'm just telling you. It's not just that they're going to be dreaming of you. Divine is about to pound this person into the ground, spiritually speaking, for how hard headed they are, for how difficult they make everything, for how avoidant they are. And it's not as punishment, it's to say, listen, this is the pot that you have become. I'm going to break it and I'm going to reform you because this isn't who you are. So as you watch this person's life collapse, just know they're thinking of you. And this time, it's not just because they're like, man, maybe I'll call you and you'll save me. Because sometimes that's why they do it. It's very annoying. But I think it's like, look, as I'm shown what a perfect life could be, as I'm shown all the reasons that I am a failure or I continue to fail or I feel even like a failure, even if I'm not, you're just a part of all of it. Even meeting you was the first proof they had that there is good in this world, truly, real good in this world. And they still don't believe it. They still act like you're not real. Like they act like you're not an actual person, or that you only act like that with them, but then in everything else you're evil or something. Like they have this way of convincing themselves of what they need to in order to just be able to go forward without having a lot of questions. To know that the karmic makes them think of you every day. I've got like 3 or 4 people that just popped into my mind as I said that again. And I'm thinking, I'm hoping that they see this because there is a lot of frustration when we have someone who's like in a relationship or who's been putting something before not even us and not our relationship, especially if we don't have one, but like the things that they promised they were going to do so we could be together. It's like you put all that stuff before us every time. To know now that divine is going to come in and say, "Hey, listen, enough is enough for everyone's sake here." And that the karmic is the way? Ah, I know that's got to be very, very frustrating for people because nobody wants to give the karmic that level of credit. And it's like, it's not really the karmic doing it, it's divine ordaining that situation that way that made it work. So, what do you need to understand spiritually about this divine masculine? That it appears that they do have some trouble going forward when they get these messages. It's like, oh yeah, I did get a download, or yeah, I did get a message that was so clear that was obviously a sign, but I decided to ignore it. It's kind of hard for us to honor that and trust that because it's like, what's wrong with you? So what do we need to know? Oh my goodness. They have been in training this entire time. They're wearing the cloak of death. You know what that means? They're gonna do it. It doesn't matter how bad it's gonna make them feel, how much it's gonna worry them, what they're worried they're going to miss out on and all that. The two shall stand. The divine masculine feels very deeply for you. Yes, their ego makes everything else matter more. I understand that. But they don't feel this way about anyone else, about anything else. Not even their dreams and their goals and their wishes do they feel this level of depth for as they feel for you. This time of transition for them is very, very heavy. They may not be willing to take off their traveling cloak and their boots right away because they may think they can't even have you either. Because they're going to convince themselves, like, I'm not worthy. If I leave the karmic and I go to my divine feminine, then my DF's not going to accept me and the karmic won't have me back, and then I'll be alone. So they sit in fear, you know? There's all kinds of stuff that happens here. And they may also think, I lost a crappy life that I didn't even really want. I know that no one is looking out for me, that the life is not fair. So even this small chance I have as like a respite to be with you is going to end in punishment. So if you feel like you notice they don't want to, you ever had somebody come to your house and they don't want to take their shoes, or not their shoes, but like they don't put their purse down or something? And it's kind of like, you finna go? Where you finna go? What's up? That is the vibe you're going to get from them for the next few months. And it's going to make you question things, but I want you to keep this in the back of your mind that it's not about you, it's about them. They really genuinely think you're going to turn around and tell them to leave, or that if they take their shoes off, you're going to come in and be like, oh, you getting real comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They've convinced themselves of that, even if it's not true. And it's going to be important for you to find the softness. Find the softness. Be your softest self with them. Why? How can doing that change things? Okay. So we have someone in traveling clothes, traveling cloak, in transition, but where's the wand? Where's his walking stick? How does he get around? Remember, divine feminine, you are the true spark. They have been around all these wands. Think about it. In the karmic deck, this is the only non-wand we saw was this dang on 9, right? I don't remember what it was. So it's like, okay, guys, clearly, yeah, it is. That was the only one. Clearly, they think they know the feeling of inspiration. They think they know what a download or what any of that stuff feels like, but that's not true. In fact, in their ego, they have often missed things. But when they finally come in with nothing but the cloak of death, and you say, hey, there you are. Oh, by the way, you forgot this. And you hand them their true wand. It takes me right back to that dang, oh man, that sun card. They've been waving a flag of death their whole life because that's all they think they're worth. They've been waving a flag of death their whole life because they think that that's all life has for them. accepting that they are meant for more will be the flag of life, and you are giving them that. Mm. All right. What do we need to understand about this? What does the divine masculine wish we knew? Mm. And this to me is really the first excuse that we've seen. I think that everything they shared today was from the heart, right? From the emotion. But I think that this is the first one that comes through and they say, "Look, I'm trying." And I think you've probably heard it before, even spiritually. But I want to tell you, believe them when they say this. If they, ooh, I'm about to get emotional. Oh, hold on. Ooh, what the heck? Ooh, okay. Oh, I hate that feeling. Your nose gets all like, you ate wasabi? All right. Ugh. When they come in and they say to you, "I'm trying," and they look like that, I'm trying. I really am trying. I don't know what to do. Let me tell you something. That's the divine feminine training. Remember, we have 2 training cards for the DF and DM, and then we have 3 twin flame training cards. That's a twin flame training card. That's a divine feminine training card. That tells me that this divine masculine has a lot of work that needs to be done, but it's actually their inner feminine that's blocking them, which makes so much sense because they've been in a freaking karmic relationship with a karmic feminine energy. Their inner masculine might be down here in the low energy and it might be dormant, but it's still full. It's being manipulated and it is being displayed in an awful way because the feminine energy that's supposed to balance with it is tainted. It's poisoned the well. I'm picturing the yin yang, right? And there's a feminine side, there's a masculine side, but then there's a little feminine, a little masculine inside each. And it's like that little dot of their inner feminine was poisoned and it's spreading to their masculine. Man, this reading is so deep and that speaks so much to what I was talking about earlier. But okay, I got to finish this. I got a call coming up. So, divine masculine, where I think when they arrive and they think they have nothing to do and nothing to offer, now realizes that what they can do is come in and they can love you and they can love their life and they can make changes with what's left. And it might not feel good to them at first. And it might just feel like this is all I can do. I'm trying. I'm trying. Nothing's working. I still don't feel better. This reading is really important because it's also kind of explaining if your person seems like they're under like a deep depression through the end of this year, this is divinely ordained. I'm not saying don't try to shake them out of it. I am saying make sure that you are aware that of what level of support you should provide and where they need to process. Because what I will tell you is if you take the wand back and you start using their wand for them, showing them how to do it, you're no different than the karmic, not truly, but in their experience, you have now basically said, "I'll handle it. You don't have to try. I'll just do it for you." And they never learn. This reading is really trying the discernment of the feminine and saying, can you prepare yourself to deal with this energy that maybe most of the time you just wouldn't have been prepared. You wouldn't think this is what was going to happen. You wouldn't expect this to be what your reunion looks like. And if you're not expecting it, you might reject it. Woo! Oh, this is deep. All right, last cards here. So what do we need to know? Purple. Yes, friends. I believe that they are being reset. I think that the potter breaking the clay and reforming a new pot is a really good example. And I think that one of the things that I've tried to share with the collective for a long time, remember how I just said the inner masculine is actually not as bad as we might think. It's actually more full than we think. It's that there's a tainted feminine energy where their emotions are concerned, kind of blocking things. Well, I want you to also think about the chakra system, right? Or think about a rainbow. Imagine you're looking out at the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But you notice something as you stare at it that the violet is at the bottom and the red is at the top. And I'm not saying it's like, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. I'm saying it's violet, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, red. What? Why? Our divine masculines, I believe one of the major manipulations of like society is to take their crown and their root chakra and flip them, which means the entire system in between, even though the other five are in perfect order, it's completely wrong. It's like putting a battery in the wrong way. It doesn't run right, or it might mess things up. And so I have a feeling here, this is letting us know divine is putting the crown chakra at the top where it belongs, taking spirituality out of the bottom, taking finances and all that kind of stuff out of the top, putting them where they belong in your divine masculine's priorities. What is that going to do? How's that going to change things? The star. Well, this isn't the star, it's just a star. Hold on. Stars. Stars represent guidance, dreams, hope, and divine intervention. Literally everything this reading was about. At the very beginning, I said that both you and I think later in the reading, I said, and your divine masculine need to know that there is hope here and they no longer need to live such a hopeless existence. It says stars often symbolize a sense of direction. Yeah, it's like my compass couldn't move the right way because I had flipped the magnet or whatever. I don't know how compasses work. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so many different things now. There's so many different things. Okay, hold on. Because something's coming to my mind right now, but I don't know why. Why did I think about the star card earlier? I don't know. I don't remember what made me think about the star card, but I actually saw the star card earlier and now I don't see it. All right, back to this. Stars may also represent your dreams and aspirations. Just spit on my cards. Sorry. Stars may also represent your dreams and aspirations, urging you to follow your inner compass. They can signify divine support, protection, and confirmation that you're on the right path. I believe that the guidance, dreams, hope, and divine intervention is what's happening right now. Okay. And oh, what's that? Oh, the wedding ring underneath the crown chakra. Just like underneath the karmic, oh, that was somewhere else. Remember, underneath the karmic was the Four of Wands, was reunion. I really do believe this, you guys. I think that the divine masculines are being brought to a higher plane of existence through, I don't want to say tragedy, but I will say through things kind of falling apart and not going well in their life. And this divine intervention that's happening to bring the systems that they should be operating under to alignment, it is not an accident. It is not a joke. It is not just random. I think that when we look at the timeline of the last several years, of when we think about what's happening in the Twin Flame Collective, if you've been hearing the New Wave prophecy for the last several years, you kind of understand what I'm saying when I say this. All these things point to a group of divine masculines who is especially stubborn, especially emotionally immature, needing the divine push, the divine intervention that nothing else could give. Not even, the events of 2020. Not like nothing can make this person change what needs to be changed other than a miracle. And honey, this is the miracle. To see a miracle showing up as chaos and negativity in someone's life is a little bit weird, but I think the point is it's a miracle for you and a miracle for the connection, even if it doesn't feel like a miracle for them. Because it is. In the end, it is. But I think the way that they'll feel like it was a miracle is after you two are happy together and they remember what their life was, 6 months or a year ago or something. And they're thinking, whoa, it's a miracle that I'm even here right now. So, what is a divine masculine wants you to understand about this, about the not just the compass being wrong or steering them the wrong direction, but there's something coming through here that says how that also applied to the way that they saw you. Oh my gosh. I cannot imagine a future without you. I cannot imagine a point in time where I would not expect us to be together. I've always figured it was going to happen. I just figured it would happen after certain events occurred, like when I finally achieved all my dreams and everything got better and da 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 da. But I never thought that we wouldn't be together at some point. This is what leads you to frustration. This is what you're going to have to forgive first. them believing this with their whole heart and then turning around and engaging with a karmic. Final message from Divine Masculine today. You are so important to me, and I miss you. I think more than anything, your Divine Masculine wants you to understand where they are and that the choices that they've made in their, I think, messed up, slightly childish, egotistical, so there's something in there that they really thought that this was the best path, the right thing. And even though it has really brought them nothing, and they're coming out of this loop empty handed, that doesn't change how they feel about you. It just changes how they feel about themselves. And they really wonder how you're going to feel when they show up and all they have is a single pentacle, torn clothes, ripped up, cloak of death maybe still on them. They think about you every day. Now you have to figure out what that means for tomorrow. What does it mean if they show up in the middle of Nightmare November? What does it mean if they tell you, I've been dreaming of you every single day? What are you going to say to them? What does it mean if they come to you and they say, I've left this person. What's next for us? This particular group of Divine Masculines has done a lot to hurt their DFs. A lot. The truth is, something about this feels very familiar to me. I kind of feel like Mr. Lightwork. It's almost like this was what happened to him before we got into union. And so I get this. But what I want you to understand is that this type of person has been living a lie, living in denial. And the beauty of that, it sucks, but the beauty of it is that you flip a switch, you say, I'm done lying to myself, and you can just turn around and go in the right direction. And I believe that this person is capable of that. I believe that is what divine is ordaining for them. So if this resonates with you, I want you to ask yourself where you still need to forgive them, where you may feel stressed or overwhelmed or confused about how to support them, where this karmic stuff is concerned. And ask yourself, what is the soft landing place that I could give them? If they come in on any end of the spectrum of awareness and divinity and all that, what can I do to not let them trigger me with nonsense, to not bring that karmic stuff in because I bet the energy will be lingering there? What can I do? If this is how I get into union, what can I do to make it beautiful and a story that I actually honor? Ooh. All right, friends. I went a little longer than I was supposed to. I love you guys. If you're interested in working together, it's been a while, Grace. Do you remember what to do? Here we are. So just so you know, I have all kinds of stuff available. Most people are going to see me on YouTube, but some people don't know that I actually have an MBA and I love to build businesses and I love helping twin flames start businesses with their person or in preparation for their person. But most people who don't just see me on YouTube or who don't do coaching with me get personal readings, love letters, DM readings, phone calls, things like that. You can find all my services on my website, thefierygrace.com. I do have long-term coaching available. I have personal readings that you could watch recorded on YouTube, like I'll record them and send you a link. And I also do phone readings. I'd love to help you, especially during this season. If you're struggling with your person, especially to respect where they are and actually communicate that to them without getting frustrated. If you have no one to talk to about this journey and your person shows up next week, you need to vent before that happens. If you have been healing from things that they did to hurt you, and they come in and they see that you're still hurt, a lot of them will run. So if you need help integrating, if you need help understanding, if you need help identifying, is this my person or not? I would like to help you with that. It's what I've done for 7 years now. So please do let me know how I can assist you. And if you just want to support this channel, like the video, hype the video, leave a comment. If you are interested in getting a free reading, I'm going to do a drawing soon actually for a free read. This is my comment signature. It's butterfly, stars, fire emoji. So if you make your own comment signature, is it going to show up or not? I can't see it. If you make your own comment signature, if you're here in the chat, can you put your comment signature so people can get to know you? Everybody in my ministry and my tribe has a comment signature. And if you leave it, I might pick you and give you a free reading. I think that's everything. My email address is in this description. Thank you, Lanice. And comment signatures are usually 3 emojis. But if you want to make them, maybe 2, it's a little challenging for me if they're different. Like if it's just 2 hearts, I might not realize that's your comment signature. And if you want to make them like 5, as long as you're posting it consistently, don't change it, by the way. This has been my comment signature for years. So pick something that you would want to post. And it's kind of like your stamp that says, I was here. Do you guys remember that when you would like carve it into the table? I was here. That's what your comment signature does. So yes, if you're, I was saying something else and then I looked at the chat. I always do that. If you're interested in, I don't know what I was going to say, but okay, I'm going to get going. Yeah. I love you guys. I should put the links. Yeah, put the links, Grace. If you need a personal reading, there's that. If you are interested in a call, those are the on-call sessions. And if you are interested in any of the decks that I have mentioned today, that's where you'll find them. All right, friends, I'm going to get out of here. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, we haven't done this in a long time, right? I want you to leave. Ooh, what can we leave? Leave a wand. You know how there's like a magic wand? And then after it, put a symbol, a healing symbol, or a love symbol. So magic wand and then something else here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it in the chat. Magic wand. Boom. And then, I think I'm going to put a rainbow. You can put a rainbow too if that makes you happy. That's going to be what I want you to put into the comment section. And remember, this is not your chat signature, but it's your comment signature. So I don't check the chat for the comment signatures. When I give away the readings, I check the comment section. I think that's everything though. I love you. Oh, I have time for readings. My booking list is clear. I just cleared it today. So if you want a reading, I can do same day readings right now. And did I put that? Oh, and I put that in the chat. Okay. All right. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Don't forget to leave your comment signature and don't forget to leave your magic wand and some special healing message to help you remember this. I'll talk to you later.